Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Wednesday, December 20th, 2023. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Happy hump day, everyone. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. So far, this market here pulling back a little bit from the previous session's highs. Very modest range of action, 16 points of range here today, 38% of average range. And as we mentioned heading into this week, we could begin to see the volume and volatility drop day over day here as we head into the final 2 weeks of the year, while maintaining a sideways to up stance here. This market continues to remain quite bullish, very elongated, lacks the ability to really pull back meaningfully. Instead, it just goes sideways to up, very, very strong. So even if we were to see selling pressure within range meaning any of these few days here, the very next day could be a buy right back up. So we'll see how today develops. Overall, expecting for another check mark trend day style day, so price can pull back, say 4,800, hold and finish a bit higher today, and that could provide much of what we've been seeing here already. Mostly again range bound with an upward bias. We do have existing home sales coming out here after the RTH Open, crude oil inventories later today. And then Thursday morning, prior to the RTH Open, GDP could provide a little bit of late week volatility. Taking a look here at the NQ. A little bit of a pullback here in the NQ as well. Still a very relatively modest range for the day. 40% of ADR, 84 points, pulling back within range. As we've mentioned, look at this move here. None of these days have finished lower since the low here. That day was a digestive day, finished a little lower. Overall, this market continues to find a way to push higher, even on weakness. So the early pullback this morning could provide a buying opportunity for later in the day. 4,800 for the ES, looking at about 16,950 for the NQ, perhaps even a little bit lower, and that could provide an opportunity for bulls to defend and look for a modest push to the upside. Above 16,990 will begin to open up a little intraday strength. Taking a look here at crude oil. Crude up 1.45% at the moment. This one finding a way to push through and back through that 74 level. This is a big time recovery here, especially after the lower low, to be able to push back through the 72s, the previous month's low. This green bar right here was a new intraday key range. That key range right there forecasts 78.23 as the upside target from a very short-term perspective. Additionally, we are on a seasonal path higher to end the year. And that could take us right back toward value right there at the 78 level. That's yearly VWAP. And then you also have a shot to continue a bit higher toward the $80 level. That's going to be recent market structure high here from the short-term price action, and it's also going to be the midpoint of the previous range here. So overall, moving higher, very bullish in the very near term. Bulls want to continue to defend into weakness for a continuation up. To stay above this Monday pivot high, which is 74.50-ish, to stay above that level would open up a continuation toward those 78s. Failing to hold that level intraday, you rotate back in the range a bit, build out as you continue to build strength for more upside. The last key range to keep an eye on for crude oil is this larger one. In bouncing back and hitting the midpoint here, we've now created a new key range here. That key range gives us an upside target as high as 91.50. So we could be looking at a bit of strength here into the end of the year. And in the first 6 to 8 weeks of the year, we tend to see strength, seasonally speaking, out of crude oil. That could lead to a continuation to these upside targets. So we could be looking at a pattern of strength here out of crude oil. Bulls want to defend into pullbacks. Taking a look at gold futures. Gold may be stuck in the range. 5 days narrow right now. Narrow day today. Just 14 points of range and 50% of ADR. Narrow 5-day range overall. We can quantify the narrow 5-day range as well. but not expecting right now a breakout from this narrow range right away. You can see right here compression, those 5 days here. Not expecting a 100-point breakout move right now, for example, to get that 125 this late in the year. This could be about what happens. We have the strong pivot high. We have the surprising strong pivot low that sent this back up. Not quite to the middle, but close enough. And this might be the zone where we get trapped here trading sideways heading into the end of the year, and then we make a move early in January. So right now, range bound, bit of an upward bias over the last couple of days, but still can't find a way to stay above the previous month's close price. Very clear narrow range of price action could continue to develop within this range until proven otherwise. Lastly, looking at the YM. The YM very, very bullish. Very close to reaching the 38K round number. Today's high 946. 946, which is just beyond the previous session's highs of 940. Price right now with a little bit of a pullback here in pre-market trading. Again, with the lack of real pullback, we have to quantify this as a very modest pullback. I mean, we really haven't seen much in the way of weakness. So any morning weakness could be met with some morning rejection that leads to an opposite move to the upside here. So any pullback, you see an early rejection, that could be a buying opportunity, and we begin flowing higher. For the YM, keep an eye on 37.8, 37.775, somewhere in that zone. Could be a pullback zone for bulls to defend and get this thing going back up. Again, we remain in one of the most intensely bullish trends. Lax pullbacks, instead sideways to up, expecting this market to close on highs by the end of the year. So still quietly pushing up, but quietly is the key term here as this thing makes a modest counter trend rotation at the moment. Keep an eye on the previous session's midpoint for a potential bounce play. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this develops here heading into the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.